don't forget to subscribe on your way out by hitting the red subscribe button below.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. No, no, no.
Hey beautiful people, it is Demari, also known as Soul Style Beauty, and I'm so happy to be filming. Today's video is going to be about insecurities, and I think truthfully the most important part of insecurities and overcoming them is to acknowledge them and to share them with other people and have encouraging people around you to talk about these things so we can overcome them. Bring it to your friends, bring it to God, bring it to different people. And since we are on the topic of sharing insecurities, I have asked a few of my vlogger friends to participate with me in this video by sharing their insecurities. It could be something that they have overcame, it could be something that they're struggling with at the moment, but this is a time just for us to lay it out on the table and be raw and transparent with you guys. No matter if we put ourselves up on like YouTube or put our information out on our vlogs, some of us can still struggle with insecurities. There's no one on this earth that does not struggle with insecurity. So I definitely wanted to do a video about insecurities, and I just wanted to say hey Drea to one of my subscribers. She's the one who told me, Imari, can you do a video on insecurities? And I said absolutely. So anyways, today would be about that topic.
You better believe it, I'ma be happy, I'ma be good. Get that understood.
Not firm or firmly fixed, likely to fail or give away. The second one is lacking in security or safety. The third one is lacking self-confidence or assurance. So basically, from these three definitions that we heard, it all has to do with self-doubt.
Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be happy.
My biggest insecurity actually used to be my skin color. My best friend at the time was light skinned, like growing up, so you know, boys always used to message her, boys always used to call her. Even when I'm standing right there, boys would ask her for her number and tell her she's beautiful, and they wouldn't tell me that, and I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not beautiful enough. But one thing which I definitely would say that helped in me, you know, making myself feel better about my insecurities, and it's something that I still battle with as well, because sometimes I do feel like there's certain colours I can't wear, and there's certain clothes I can't wear, and there's certain lipsticks I can't pull off, and this type of thing. But one thing which I definitely feel helped was speaking words into existence. I believe that you need to be able to speak beauty into yourself. So what I used to do, which may sound very cringy, is actually just go in front of my mirror and just tell myself I'm beautiful every day, even when I looked like crap and even when I felt like crap. And I found that that was a big stepping stone into me establishing beauty within myself. And like I said, it is an ongoing process. It is something I'm still battling, but at the end of the day, everyone does have insecurities, and I feel like doing something about the insecurity is better than just leaving the insecurity to just eat you up alive. But yeah, I think that's it.
I realized that one of my insecurities is my career, and not necessarily because I don't know what I want to do. I've always had kind of a clear idea of what I wanted to do. I just didn't think my path would go the way it did, and things always work out that way. I graduated school, and you know, no job came, and I've been applying, doing internships, still nothing. And it happens that way. It happens that way. It happens to a lot of people, but it just really sucks when you're one of those people. And I think that that's what really got to me. I was one of those people. I felt like I was always the oddball. Ultimately, you just have to realize that things will be okay. Things will work out. Stop comparing yourself to others. Hone in on what you want. Let go of what you don't want. Be honest with yourself. Come to terms with your insecurities and address them, and realize that these are areas that you need to work on. Hopefully, the ultimate goal is to completely erase them and no longer have these insecurities.
So one of my insecurities definitely would be being a college dropout. So long story short, I was in school for fashion design, and I went through this whole spiritual renewal, got saved, dropped out of college, and really just spent all of that time that I would have spent in school just seeking God's face. And so I didn't finish, but honestly it was the best decision of my life. But honestly, sometimes I would kind of compare myself to other people. I would be on Instagram and seeing everyone graduate, and you know, this world idea of successful is getting a degree, doing things a traditional way, getting a good job. But I knew that God was leading me in a different direction. So the way that I overcame that, honestly, was number one, stop comparing myself. And number two, realizing that everyone's path is different. And just because you don't have a degree doesn't mean that you can't be successful. And our definition and my definition of successful really isn't just getting a degree, but doing exactly what God told me to do, which is loving all women and doing women's ministry.
So one of the things that I struggled with when I was a younger child is being dark-skinned. When you're a young child and you're dark-skinned, you always feel like you have to prove yourself to someone. You always have to feel like you have an extra umph to you. Like if you're dark skinned, then you must have long hair, or you have to do something else to umph up yourself because you're not worthy enough. And that's the feeling I have as a young dark skinned child, because you have all this talk about light skin, dark skin, and it's just a lot for a young child. And obviously I didn't understand at that moment. But one thing that really encouraged me was family, friends, friends of my own, and this really helped me with this situation, because sometimes we think some things and they just become facts. They just become facts in our mind, like, oh, I'm ugly, that's it, it's a fact, everybody thinks it's a fact. However, if you have people that encourage you and you start to feel a little bit uplifted. Nowadays, being older, I feel like being dark skinned or just even being black a lot of people feel insecure about it because all the race issues that we have going on. I know I told you guys with me in my workplace, I'm like one of 3 black people, but it's something that I constantly have to pray about. Like, help me feel secure, help me feel that you've made me perfect, oh God. And I have to say these things over and over in my prayers. I know that if I don't deal with them and bring it to God, bring it before my friends, that it will eat me alive all the way. So that is one of my insecurities that I struggle with. First point is our feelings and thoughts. Like when we think certain things and we feel certain things, we see them as facts, and that's not the case for everything. So we have to really be mindful of our thoughts and what we think, because when you start thinking something or feeling something, you start to believe it. And that brings me to my next point. Once you start thinking something, you feel like insecure in something, it is so important to acknowledge that thing and bring it to people who are your support system, whether it's God, because that's the #1 support system, and then under that is like your friends who encourage you and support you. It's so important to bring it to these people, because if you keep it inside, it's going to do nothing but eat you up, because sometimes, like I said, we think of these things like it's fact. So it's like if I say that I feel like I'm ugly, and every day I don't bring it up, I'm walking the streets, oh, inside I feel ugly, it's going to affect my emotions, it's going to affect how I treat people, it's going to affect my relationships with people, it's going to affect everything. So it's so important to talk about these things and lay it out on the table in order for you to overcome these things. To really examine and tackle this alongside with God and encouraging friends, you need to examine it and see where you would be without this insecurity. You need to really think about your insecurity and just examine it. Examine if this is a blessing. Examine, like, weigh out the pros and cons. It can actually be a blessing to someone else, and it also sets us up for fear, and it sets us up to fail if we continue to believe these things. In conclusion, I just wanted to encourage you guys to lay out your insecurities with people who you trust, because it is so important for you to put it out on the table, especially if you feel a lot of doubt in yourself and you feel very insecure about yourself. It's so not healthy to walk around like this. You need to share that with some people so they can encourage you and help you with these problems. And also, you need to make sure that this problem does not eat you alive. So don't have it in you for months and months at a time. Like, please find somebody to email that you trust, even online. If you don't have any friends outside, you can talk to me. You can email me, put a comment down below, and we will talk together. If you have a really serious problem, I'm down to do whatever to help you guys. I'm not here to say, oh, okay, leave comments and not respond to you guys. No, we can start a conversation. So down below, I really do encourage you guys to be confident and share some of your insecurities, and everybody can start a conversation, and we can comment on these things and just uplift and encourage one another, because that's what we do when it comes to my channel. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
I could be all up on Wall Street with Parker Monopoly, making some know if your spot is left vacant, it's gotta be taken. Anyway.